Hello students and welcome to my video channel Chemistry GRS. So in today's video lecture students we will study about the factors that affects on atmospheric corrosion. In one of the previous video lectures students we have studied about the factors that affects on rate of electrochemical corrosion. So that point was different. In today's video lecture we have to study the factors affects on atmospheric corrosion, because we know that there are two types of corrosion. Number one, atmospheric corrosion, and number two, electrochemical corrosion. So in the previous video lecture we have studied about the factors that affects on second type, that is rate of electrochemical corrosion. In today's video lecture we will study the factors that affects on the first type of corrosion, that is atmospheric corrosion. Okay, so before going to this particular point we should know the definition of atmospheric corrosion, and it is a very easy definition, and we have studied the definition in one of the previous video lecture also. So the definition of atmospheric corrosion is that it is defined as the corrosion that takes place due to attack of atmospheric gases on the surface of the metal. Okay, so that kind of corrosion is called as atmospheric corrosion. So this means that this corrosion, if it is taking place due to attack of the gases which are present in the atmosphere, and if those gases are attacking where on the surface of the metal, and if that metal is undergoing its surface, the surface of the metal, if it is undergoing deterioration, or if there is decay, or if there is damage on the surface of that metal due to attack of surrounding gases which are present in the atmosphere, so such kind of corrosion we say that it is atmospheric corrosion. So it is a very easy definition. So from this particular definition, we one thing we came to know is that the atmosphere, it has different kinds of gases in it. We normally say that atmosphere, it is the mixture of different kinds of gases. Okay, so if those gases they are not corrosive, so then after that there will not be any kind of corrosion on the surface of the metal. But if that atmosphere is having unwanted gases, the gases which are corrosive, so definitely in that particular region where atmosphere is having such kind of corrosive gases in it, so that in particular region the rate of corrosion, it will be greater, that is we say that atmospheric corrosion, it will be greater. Okay, so there are many factors actually. We can take example moisture, that is humidity, what we say, then after that temperature, then after that if the pollutants are present in that atmosphere, so rate of corrosion, particularly atmospheric corrosion, it will be greater. So these points or these factors that affects on atmospheric corrosion, that only we have to study in this video lecture. So out of those many factors, only 3 factors we will study in this video lecture, and in that number 1 is impurities present in the atmosphere, and second point is humidity of that particular environment or atmosphere, how it affects on atmospheric corrosion, the rate of atmospheric corrosion, and third is the temperature, that is increase or decrease in temperature, how it affects on the rate of atmospheric corrosion, that also we have to study. Okay, so at first we will study about impurities in the atmosphere, how it affects on rate of atmospheric corrosion. So normally our atmosphere, we know that it is having gases like oxygen, it has oxygen, that is 18% it has, then after that atmosphere around us, it has 78 percentage of nitrogen, then after that it is having carbon dioxide. So such gases are available in the atmosphere. So this kind of atmosphere, it is not that much corrosive natured atmosphere, we can say. But if unwanted gases like SO2 is there, or we can say H2S is there, or nitrogen dioxide, if those gases or chlorine, if those gases are present in the environment, so definitely that environment has become corrosive. This means that the rate of atmospheric corrosion in such environment which is having those kinds of gases in it, that is chlorine, if it is having sulfur dioxide, H2S, that is hydrogen sulfide, and nitrogen dioxide, if those gases are present in more percentage in the environment or atmosphere, so at such places the rate of atmospheric corrosion, it will be greater. Now, why the rate of atmospheric corrosion in those particular areas where the atmosphere is having those gases in more percentage, the rate of corrosion is greater, because on the surface of metal, these gases when attack, so chlorine gas it will form chlorides, SO2 it will form sulfates, then after that H2S, that is hydrogen sulfide, it will form sulfides on the surface of that metal, and because of formation of chlorides, then after that sulfides on the surface of metals, that metal it will undergo corrosion, and that kind of corrosion it is called as atmospheric corrosion, because that metal is being attacked by unwanted atmospheric gases like chlorine, hydrogen sulfide, then after that NO2, nitrogen dioxide, or sulfur dioxide, that is SO2. Okay, so atmosphere if it is clean, so the rate of atmospheric corrosion it is very very less. But if the same atmosphere is having unwanted gases like this, so the rate of corrosion, the rate of atmospheric corrosion in that particular atmospheric area, it will be greater. Okay, so I think it is a very easy point and understandable point that if any atmosphere is having pollutants, or if unwanted gases, corrosive gases are present in such a atmosphere, so rate of corrosion it will be greater. So this is the first point. Then the second point is humidity. So students, if we see coastal areas around the globe, coastal areas means seashore areas, you can say, like Mumbai. So in such cities or in such regions, moisture or the humidity which is present in that atmosphere, it is always greater. And as the moisture is greater or humidity is greater in the atmosphere, rate of corrosion it will be greater. Why rate of corrosion is greater in humid conditions? Because that moisture which is present in that humid conditioned atmosphere, moisture it becomes medium there, and in that moisture, unwanted like these gases, Cl2, SO2, H2S, they get dissolved in that moisture. So because of dissolving of those unwanted gases in moisture, the rate of chemical or electrochemical reaction it enhances, it increases. So as the rate of chemical or electrochemical reaction it enhances on the surface of metal, so atmospheric corrosion it will be greater on the surface of that metal. So this means that the rate of corrosion it is greater here. So that's why we say that if the humid conditions are greater, rate of corrosion it is also greater, because in that humid condition the percentage of moisture is greater, and this moisture it acts as a medium, and in this moisture gases they get dissolved, and as the gases get dissolved in the moisture, then after that what will happen there, the chemical and electrochemical reactions they will take place on the surface of that metal, and the metal it will undergo corrosion. So in the dry conditions if we see, the rate of corrosion is very very less, but if the atmosphere it is not dry and if it is humid one, so in such atmosphere the rate of corrosion it is always greater, because that moisture which is present in that humid atmosphere it is acting there like a medium. Again I repeat, it is acting there like a medium, and unwanted gases they readily get that ready-made moisture medium, and in that moisture they get dissolved, and rate of chemical or electrochemical reactions on the surface of that metal it will increase. This means that the rate of corrosion, atmospheric corrosion, it increases in the presence of humid conditions. Okay, so I think this point is also clear. Then after that, temperature. So students, it is very obvious to think that if the temperature is greater, then the rate of corrosion it will be also greater. Then after that, if the temperature is less, the rate of corrosion it is also less, because temperature increases, the oxidation of that metal it also increases. Oxidation of metal increases means what? That metal it will gain heat energy. If it gains heat energy, so there will be a movement of electrons takes place on the surface of that metal, and if there is movement of electron on the surface of the metal, some of the electrons they may come out. So this means that the oxidation of that metal is taking place, and we know if the oxidation of any metal is taking place, so it is undergoing corrosion. So because of heat provided to that metal, the temperature is increasing. So because of that increased temperature, oxidation, rapid oxidation of that metal is taking place. Rapid oxidation of that metal is taking place. So as the rapid oxidation is taking place, this means that the rate of atmospheric corrosion it is also greater. Okay, so if temperature is greater, so it is direct proportion, the rate of atmospheric corrosion it is also greater, and if the temperature is less, the rate of corrosion it is also less. Okay, so I think you understood these points, these factors, whatever we all learned in today's video lecture. If you don't understand, you can see this video again and again, and do like, do share this video. Okay, thank you students.